I woke up to the sound of the machines beeping around me, my body aching in ways I never knew it could. The room smelled like antiseptic and regret, and then the text came through, a casual have fun recovering. From my best friend, Ethan. He was already on a plane to Paris, living his best life while I lay there alone, in pain. I wish I could say I wasn't surprised, but deep down, I knew it was coming. I'm Jason, 31 years old, living in Cleveland, Ohio. By all accounts, I had a pretty average life. I worked as a graphic designer at a mid-level agency, lived in a small but cozy apartment downtown, and spent most of my evenings unwinding at a local bar with friends, Ethan among them. Every morning, I'd grab a quick coffee from the cafe down the street, the bitter warmth of it sinking into my bones. I'd walk the same route to work, past the same cracked sidewalks, the same dirty windows in the office building that held my future. It wasn't glamorous, but it was comfortable, or, at least, it was supposed to be. Ethan and I, we were close, like brothers. We'd been through thick and thin together, late-night brainstorming sessions for work, endless beer-fueled conversations about our dreams. But recently, there was a shift. I felt it in the air, like the scent of rain right before a storm. Little jabs, sarcastic comments, distance that wasn't there before. I didn't know what it was, but something was brewing, and I couldn't shake the feeling that I was going to get blindsided. It started with small things. Really, Ethan, who had always been the loudest cheerleader for my ideas, began shutting me down at work, where once we shared everything. Now it was like I wasn't even in the room when I spoke up in meetings. And it wasn't just at work, it seeped into our personal lives too. I sacrificed so much for him. I worked extra hours on his projects, stayed late fixing his mistakes without asking for credit. I had his back every single time. He knew that, or, at least, I thought he did. But what I didn't know was that while I was burning myself out for him, he was plotting his next move. I still remember the moment he told me about his trip to Paris. Casual, like it was no big deal. I'm going to Paris with the guys, he said, a grin on his face. You know, the whole work trip thing, but I wasn't invited, not even a mention of it. And the worst part? I had just gotten hurt, badly, a car accident. Have fun recovering. Ethan texted me. He was already in the airport lounge when I got the message. I was alone in that hospital bed, the sterile walls closing in, the pain radiating from my broken leg. It wasn't the fact that he left me behind that crushed me, it was the complete disregard for everything we'd been through. Ethan had been my brother, my best friend, the person I thought I could count on, but there he was, living it up in Paris while I was stuck in a hospital bed, fighting for my life. Really, man? I texted back, my fingers trembled as I hit send, but I had to try. You really couldn't stay? His response came instantly, gotta go, Jay, it's important. That was it. No apology, no sense of guilt, just a cold, calculated response. The man I thought I knew was gone, and I was left with nothing but the bitter taste of betrayal and a growing rage that I couldn't ignore anymore. I spent the next few weeks in the hospital, but my mind wasn't focused on healing. I had one thing on my mind, revenge, but it wasn't going to be some impulsive act. No, I wasn't going to stoop to his level. I was going to make sure Ethan understood what it felt like to lose everything. I made plans. I started gathering information, organizing my next steps. I contacted people from his past, former colleagues, friends who'd been left behind. I knew his secrets. I knew the shady deals he'd been making behind the scenes to climb the corporate ladder. It was all there, waiting for me to expose, and I would. I had no intention of letting Ethan go unscathed. As I recovered, I began to lay the groundwork. Ethan didn't know it, but the walls were closing in on him. His frantic texts and calls didn't faze me. He was desperate now, trying to smooth things over, trying to control the narrative. Jay, come on, we need to talk, he said in a video call one night. I'm sorry about everything, man, you have to understand, this trip was. Save it, I interrupted, my voice cold. You've already made your choices. His face dropped, realizing that I wasn't playing the game anymore. He couldn't manipulate me, not after everything. The twist came at the annual company gala. I'd hacked into Ethan's account, set up a presentation to expose his hidden dealings with our biggest rival, and made sure that everyone, from the board members to the interns, would see it. The moment the projector lit up and his face appeared on screen, his smug smile turned to a look of pure horror. I didn't need to say a word. The room reacted, gasps, whispers, and the unmistakable sound of Ethan's world crumbling around him. He tried to shut it down, but it was too late. His betrayal had been laid bare, and there was no coming back from that. Ethan's career was ruined, his relationships with everyone at the company were shattered, he had nowhere to turn. I didn't gloat, I didn't need to. The satisfaction was in watching him realize that he couldn't run from what he'd done. As for me, I was different, stronger. I had learned that sometimes, standing up for yourself means burning bridges, but it also means reclaiming your dignity. I'm not angry anymore, I'm at peace, but the lesson is clear: never let someone walk all over you, no matter how close they are. Trust is earned, not given. So, what about you? Have you ever had someone betray you like this? How did you handle it? Drop a comment below, let me know. And hey, if you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and check out more stories of resilience and growth. Thanks for listening, stay strong, and take care.